everyone. Welcome to the post-match. Liverpool win the game 2-1. Kind of like a meh game, but good rotation, good 3 points at the end of the day. Cersei's here, my cold and my cough are here, so everybody is gathering around. So we'll start with the lineup, Cersei. I mean, there was a lot of discussion in terms of like the amount of rotation, how much rotation we'll have. We talked about it in the morning show. We talked about it on the podcast yesterday. What do you think of the starting 11 when it comes? I mean, in terms of like the amount of rotation, I guess we threw out there.
I think it's like catch-22 because we've seen with Klopp, like I think you mentioned this morning or last night, when Klopp used to rotate a lot, we looked really disjointed, and it took us a while to get into the game. And by the time we got into the game, we were usually 1-0 down. So I think on a balance of things, it was a good rotation. You know, McAllister got rested. Who else got rested? You know, Trent was rested. You know, it was a good game for Bradley coming on, and obviously Konate didn't even play, which is great. So I think all in all, especially hindsight, it was a good rotation. Yeah, I really didn't see what else we could have done. You know, I guess it's a game that we wanted to win or really needed to win. I'm not sure what that means overall. I think have we won the group? I'm not really sure, but
no, I mean basically what happens if we lose to PSV and Barcelona wins, they have the goal differential, so they go as number one. But as Slot was talking about yesterday, really being one does not mean anything at all because of the format. There's so many actually top teams that are down there right now, PSG, Real, and stuff like that. So you could be one. And with your seeding, still be matching up with a team that just came through the playoffs and be like Real or somebody like that. You never know.
Right.
So I think, I really don't care if we're one. I mean, after this result right here, that you guaranteed it, you're going to be 1 or 2. I think is what it is. The worst you can be is 2, and that's saying your backups will lose to PSV. So a draw is actually enough, I think. So
yeah.
I would not risk anybody at all. I know we won't do that. I know we won't go full rotation, but I would probably have even more rotation than today when we go away next week. I really thought the rotation was kind of like just about right, basically because of what you said. I feel like when we do too many, it just feels all over the place. You kind of rotated the right side of the defense. So Mo is there. I think it was smart to keep. I think Mo is a guy who can kind of play but not play. Like you can just put him out there and be like, hey, conserve your energy, be Mo, but don't go crazy. Like, so he can play 90 minutes, but actually he played 50 minutes worth kind of thing. Because he can have that maturity to be able to control and the way we play and stuff like that.
Right.
So I thought it was good rotation. Like you said, Matt came in afterwards, so which means Gravenberg got rest. I really did hope he would come in earlier, but that didn't happen. I don't even know if he came in because right before he came in, it was weird. Diaz looked like he was holding his thigh or something, but then he made a sprinting run to the corner, and I was like, "Are you hurt or are you not hurt?" I think we better risk it. I would have liked to see KS a lot earlier, and you can kind of, I don't know, man. Every time I see him, I get more excited in terms of the potential. But then again, we did it with the Thiago, so we have to kind of take our time and wait for it. Spencer is here, who was joining Discord from the future, and giving us updates for the stream over there, being the spoiler alert. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, job done. I mean, what did you think of the performance? Should we even look a lot at the performance overall? First of all, let's start as a team. Should we look and really try to dissect the overall performance a lot from this game?
Not really. I mean, it's not like we went full throttle and even when they were down to 10 men, we were like on the edge. I think we had a lot more to give if we needed to. So I think if they got another goal, I think we probably would have gone on to get another goal. But no, I mean, other than that, maybe defensively, we got caught out a couple of times, and I think that's the only thing really. Other than that, it was just a professional performance. And at this point, just want to get wins. I think Gally said it yesterday or on Discord earlier on today. Performances just don't matter anymore. We just need to get the points. and whether that's league or Champions League, just get jobs done, have players not injured or going full throttle, and where it's going to catch up with them like towards the end of the season, and we just get the points.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, here's the thing: you have a lot of rotation going on. I mean, you basically half your squad you're rotating out of the starting 11, the front 10, half of it is being rotated, and then on top of that, I think you have. It just felt like everybody was like, yeah, we're playing a game over here. Like nobody even got into the second gear. We just kind of like coasted through. And then occasionally when they almost like woke up, it's almost like if you have like a younger brother or whatever, like when you play with them, you kind of like take it easy and you're like, whoa, 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 what are you doing now? Like when they get close and then you kind of like
Yep.
wake up and go up a gear, right? You're like, let me put you back in your place kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So it just felt like that. But having said that, so I do agree with you. I don't think, you look at the team performance and really dissect it and I'm like, we're struggling here, we're struggling there. How about individuals though? How much can you take from see, I had an older brother who claims he was taking it easier, but he was just getting his ass beat. It was just as like defense mechanism. But how about individual performances? Do you take any of those and kind of mirror it into the future kind of a thing?
No, I mean, I wouldn't take anything
Whether it's
negative
like Darwin or Bradley or Kwanzaa, like, do you take anything from today and say, here we go, this will happen?
No, I mean, I think the squad players, most of them, I think they did well. I mean, Kwanzaa had a good game. I know you have some issues with Darwin's game, but I don't think Darwin really. I thought he had a good game. He does a couple of passes, sloppy passes that he did, which is typical Darwin. But then so did Salah, and I think the most disappointing player out of all of them maybe was Diaz. Like all the productivity was there, but the end product was just. No, there was one point where he came back and he got the ball off the player in our half, and then he ran and then he let go of the ball, and like it's just like all that hard work for nothing. So, but no, the players that came on, obviously Elliot got his goal. Chiesa, like you said, he comes on and is like, wow, this is the player that is going to spark our season, and he, quotation marks, like he's that new player or seems like a new player, and he's going to spark the season. He looks fantastic. Like his intelligence, you can tell his brain is constantly working, and hopefully he can just stay fit. But no, I mean, I think there's more positives to take away from the players than negatives.
I don't know, maybe it's like too early. It's only January, but I don't know, maybe by like March or April, we will have a Chiesa who's able to like start. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the PSV game, for example. I really thought he would give, I mean, clearly, and I assume it's the same thing for Elliot, that they're not ready for 90 minutes or Slot does not trust them for 90 minutes. And I'm okay with that as long as, because I don't want him going out there to see, let's see if they're ready. And then, pull something on the 40th or like, damn, I guess they weren't. And then now you totally lost them. So you can't even bring him in the last 15 minutes of a game now. Because I don't care if it's the last 15 or 20 they come in. That's 15 or 20 minutes less that, somebody else has to run from your like starting 11. So you're resting legs, even if he comes in for Szoboszlai or whoever he comes in for. So so hopefully like with Chiesa, we'll get more and more as we go. I didn't have like a huge problem with Darwin's play because it was the average Darwin performance, which I normally have a problem with. And I think this is like, I mean, the bar has like been so lower that it's like we can throw anybody out there, they're going to run. And it's an easy guy to root for. I've said this 100 times, and I do root for him. It's not like I want him to fail, but you see his passing, you see some of the decision making, but then you see another pass. But if it's not consistent, it does not matter. I mean, these are all professional football players. So for us to be like, oh, look at that pass. Whoop-de-freaking do, he made a pass. I mean, if I go out there and crank up 10 passes, one of them is going to win. I don't think you want me starting for Liverpool. I mean, there's like a huge difference in terms of that. Mind you, I don't think any of our front three was solid today. Even Mo, who had a great finish, had so many misplaced passes. He could have probably, a normal Mo would have probably had like 2-3 assists today. I guess my issue with like Darwin overall is there's a couple of times in the beginning of the second half, it's like, what are you even doing? Like, I didn't understand the passes. I don't understand what you're trying to do. He's almost like too eager at times. He gets the ball and you're like, okay, he's going to take it and go now, which I think he thinks I'm going to take it and go now, but he doesn't know where he's going. And he doesn't lift his head as much. I don't know. I just don't think he is good enough. And I think after he scored the goals, I love when everybody, like people like our Anan, the resident Amram lookalike, had abandoned. This is what I don't like. Don't abandon a guy and then he scores 2 goals and suddenly like he's like the best guy again. No, it's the same guy that we were talking about 3-4 weeks ago. That does not go away. This myth that he's a confident player, his confidence. No, it's not good. This is what you get from him. He can be really, really ridiculously good, but normally he's not going to be very good. And this is what you get, the inconsistency. If you're okay with that, more power to you. I just don't think that's good enough for the long run. Having said that, I still think there are like 2-3 games where Nunez comes in and makes an impact. Even maybe when we have the lead, he seals the game, or we're coming back, he gets a goal like he did against Brentford. I think he makes that impact, but I just don't see him part of the plans in the long run. It just does not fit or work. I just don't. We're trying to see things that are not there at this point.
I think that's like Diaz as well. He blows hot and cold as well, and it's like I think Nunes had a better game than Diaz today, and definitely last couple of games with Diaz.
Is say that though. See, I think, like I said in Discord, I think it's pathetic that we're first of all comparing a guy playing out of his position to the guy whose position is that, and we find it pretty close, and we're discussing it. That's because the guy who's actually his position is not playing it very well. Because we're bringing a guy from the left wing, and I personally don't think it's Diaz coming to the middle. I think Gakpo is so much better on the left-hand side. Not necessarily so much better than, let's say, Diaz on the left. I think personally he is. Don't get me wrong. But I think the drop-off of Gakpo going to the middle is a lot bigger than Diaz going to the middle.
Yeah.
Because of his press and, but he can bring, because he can start the press, whereas you do not get that from Gakpo as much, especially when he's in the middle and stuff like that. So like, I'm not saying like Diaz is like lighting up the world or anything like that, but I just don't feel like it's fair to compare a guy playing out of position to the guy whose normal position is there, and we're debating if he's doing the same or just enough or a little bit more, a little bit less.
But if Nunes was scoring more goals and his productivity wasn't there, like he presses, I think out of 3,
he runs
the most.
He runs.
But he causes
running and pressing. The guy has the worst angles of pressing at times. And
he makes the opposition defense think. I mean, he does take defenders with him, so he does create.
Oh, you mean in that? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So in that sense, whether he's making the space, I think what it is that we're holding him accountable for. Well, like you said, what we thought we were paying for, which is a goal scorer. I mean, I know you can't compare him and Firmino, but obviously Firmino's goal scoring wasn't there, but everything else was there. It's
okay, but
that's the only thing I
yeah, I know what you're saying. If he was scoring a lot of goals, he'd be Haaland, right? We've said this about Haaland before. Like
and if Haaland doesn't score, if Haaland's not scoring, he's missing. And he offers nothing else to the City team. Whereas I think Nunes offers a lot more, definitely in terms of creating options. That's why we have like Salah, being top scorer, and Gakpo's got 10 goals and so forth. Where if you take Haaland out of City, they've got no goal scorers, and they're not getting a goal from anywhere. So it's, I don't know. I still on, like I said, I was probably the last man standing, backing Nunes up until Anand decides he wants to.
No, Anand is trying to see, like, he threw the ticket out. Like he's that guy who was like, I didn't know there was one more drawing, so he's like trying to find the ticket that he threw out of the bandwagon in the garbage can. But I just feel like, I mean, like I say, it's a very easy guy to root for. I wanted to do him well, but we're just kidding ourselves. If he was playing for any other team, if he was playing for United, and if he had these performances with that price tag, nobody would be trying to find all these silver linings like, but he runs, he wins the ball and stuff like that. We would not say any of that stuff. I think we want him to succeed because, like I say, he's a very easy guy to root for. You can see at all times he's giving 100%. So very easy guy to get behind and root for. But just I don't know, I don't like his overall game. I guess it doesn't fit. I mean, it's not like, it can fit. And we talked about this before in different leagues and stuff like that. And we played against him today. He'd be a pain in our ass probably, right? If he was playing for Lille today.
And he has been. Yeah.
And he has been when he played for Benfica. But he's here now, and I don't know, like say. But aside from that, what do you think of like a couple of other performances? I thought Ando did really well, but I think we talked about Ando's role in the past. I think this is Ando's role, and he'll do it to his best. He's that kind of professional. Bradley, let me ask you that one. What did you think of Bradley?
I thought Bradley was great. I think he was just efficient. I don't recall him making any mistakes or where he got found out today. I think defensively, I think everyone agrees that defensively is better than Trent. Obviously, Trent offers something that no other player in that team can. And this way, the argument is with Trent. He's probably a world-class player, but he's not a world-class defender. And it's hard. Like it's like one of them, them techers.
Let me ask you this way then. Okay, having seen today and overall and stuff like that, would you be confident if I said, let's say Trent is gone? Would you be okay if your starting right back next season is Bradley?
I'll be okay with that. I'll be okay with that as long as we can get a good number 9.
What happened? I thought you guys were great. I like how you guys are. You guys are almost like that guy who's like still hasn't broken up because you want to still have the girlfriend benefits and shit, but constantly actively looking for another girlfriend for like the long haul because this relationship is not going anywhere. So, but no, I don't know. The only fear I have with Bradley, I guess, is, and I know he's only 21, that can improve still, is probably strength overall. But like I say, that can improve because we remember Trent coming into the league where he was really weak physically as well, and he has become a lot stronger because I do think he's better overall defensively. Not a lot better, by the way. I think when Trent does want to defend, Trent can be just as good defensively. I'm still a believer in that. It's more of a wants that ability in most cases, I think, with Trent.
I think with Bradley, but I mean, he's got that narkiness. He's not afraid to go into challenges. Where you look on the other side and you look at Tsimikas, who sometimes pull out of challenges or not go full in, whereas Bradley will go full in. Like he's got that typical English old school defensive mentality. He's going 100% full blooded into every challenge.
Is that a good thing?
If his timing's right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Mbappe challenge. Yeah, that's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Well, I do agree because even I said then he's more like his tackles are a bit more like old school, like championship level in terms of like strength and stuff like that. And I mean, to be fair, we have not seen him mistime it terribly yet. So I just feel like I would not like it if he's like the one starting and there's like an 18-year-old other guy behind him or something like that. I would just worry about that just because of physicality. I don't know how durable he'll be, number one. And even when he first came up last year, he rarely finished an entire game. So, but like I say, then he was 20. Now he's 21. Will he kind of like take the next step and become like a physically a bunch stronger guy? Of course, this all goes back to I was talking about in this morning show. I wish somebody would ask Slot what he wants from the backs. Like ideally, what he wants from the backs, because he was in that show. He was talking about a lot about what he wants from the guys in the middle. I wish somebody would ask him what he wants from the right back and the left back as well. But another player that's I don't know, got a lot more minutes and that we want him to get minutes is Elliott. Where are you with Elliott? He gets his goal. I mean, it's a lucky deflection, but he'll take it. We'll take it and stuff like that. But what do you make of him? Can you look at
I
today
think
and project to the future?
I think at this point, if we're going to rotate between Jones, Jones coming, I'd put him ahead of Jones. I don't, apart from Jones' assist today, I think last 3 games Jones hasn't. He's played a lot better than he has done. Over the last few weeks, I've seen him. Starting from the Man United game onwards. So I think Elliott deserves his chance. He played obviously against Brentford. He took his chance, I think, and he played well. Today, he got his goal. Apart from a little defensive error, like I don't know what he was trying to do, where he was trying to shield the ball. Other than that, I thought he had a good game as well. And I put him above Jones for the next game. And I mean, I wouldn't start him against Ipswich. I think Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai have pretty much got their positions nailed on. But if you're going to take Szoboszlai off, then I'd put Elliott above Jones to take that spot.
And that's the thing. I think that's the only role I really see for Elliott, right? Like that's when he's good. He's playing against a low block and he can make things happen. He has a good dynamic on the right hand side with both Trent and like Mo and stuff like that. So, but overall, I don't know, man. I mean, he's not gonna get a lot bigger. But I wish and then he lacks the speed at times. So I don't know if he's like a long-term person. Like I don't think he can give you exactly what Szoboszlai gives you. Having said that, like I say, I think he's good in that limited role where he can come in against a low block and make things happen. I just don't know. Like I can't look and see a scenario where Elliott is your starting number like 8, if you will, or like flash 10, like the Szoboszlai role, because he does not bring the same speed and physicality. The running parts a little bit, he does do that, but I mean, here's the thing: it's like me running versus Mateusz running. I had to take 2 steps for Mateusz's 1. So it's that kind of a deal, right? I mean, it feels like Szoboszlai has the size as well. Ryan says I prefer Jones at 6, which is where he was today, to be fair. And then Elliott and Chiesa subs. I mean, that's really, we were talking about in the Monday Night Podcast as well. And then Bickler and I were kind of on the camp that, in the long run, once he gets the legs under him, Chiesa could be somebody who comes in and plays that role well. Because I do think Dom can play the role of Gravenberch and Mecca if you want. Because he's learned it more and more and more, I think, the defensive responsibility part. In the beginning of the season, he was still an attacker in the head and, kind of like abandoning positioning sometimes and stuff like that. But I think he's kind of like learned that. And I don't know if Slot will trust him in that double pivot, but I think he can learn to play over there. Going back to this over here, Gravenberch looked extremely poor, by the way. And this has been a couple of games. And like I said, today, I don't know if anybody, did you see anybody and be like, he looks great?
No, I mean, I wouldn't Kwanzaa like he looked like whatever cobwebs he had, he looked like he shook them off. Like I said, it wasn't, and obviously Bradley had a good game as well. I don't think anyone had a great game, but I don't think they were tested enough. But yeah, Gravenberch, he looks like he's running on fumes right now. So he definitely needs a rest, and I'm glad he came off at halftime. He needed to.
Yeah, I agree, and I would hope that if we do well in the Ipswich game, he's one of the first ones rotated. I just think, but in the build-up, I think we see again today that the key player in the build-up, key player in that midfield, in that double pivot, is McAllister. It's McAllister, I think. I mean, Gravenberch gets all the glory this year, thanks to people like John who were waiting for it. But I mean, I think it's because, I don't know, why do you think that is? Is it because we had the bar so low and we're extremely pleased with what we're seeing? Because I do feel like it's almost like the center back next to Van Dijk. I think when McAllister is there, he's making the guy next to him look really good too. But when we build play, it's usually McAllister seeing the next pass as the ball coming to him more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bar was low because beginning of the season, people are loaning him off, or And whether it was by chance or God's hand that we didn't get Zubimendi, Gravenberch took the opportunity, and and we're all berating Gravenberch as well. Like, why didn't he join up with the the preseason squad sooner? He hardly played any games. We're all questioning his mentality and everything. But I like him though. He keeps a good ball moving without touching it, and that little twist, that turn that he does, and still opposition, even though they know he does it, they don't know how to stop it. I just think he's a great player. I mean, obviously playing with McAllister and obviously Van Dijk behind him probably gives him a lot more confidence, but he keeps the ball moving, and it's like reminds me of Ronaldo. Like, we won't miss him until he's gone. And because I know when we had Ronaldo, I was like, all right, he's leaving. Who cares? No, Ronaldo, Ginny.
Oh, Ronaldo. Okay, I thought you said Ronaldo. I was like, no, I know you're a huge Ronaldo fan, but the old Ronaldo, not the Cristiano Ronaldo.
But Ronaldo, I'm like, when I knew we were going to lose him, I wasn't really that bothered, But it wasn't until the season after I realized this is what we missed, and we shouldn't have let him go. And I think Gravenberch is on that same level, and he fits well in centre, in defence when he's needed to. He has intelligence, and he's got that Dutch mentality of that all round play. Like, you can put him anywhere, and he'll play, and he'll do a job for you. I just think we're running the legs off of him. He literally looks like he's running on fumes, and his body's not doing what his head.
Yeah, because there were a couple of moments today where he got almost like out-muscled from a tackle. Like, the ball that he would normally win, he got out-muscled out of it. So I do agree with that, though. I think the good quality about him is being able to turn with the ball. And I think Mac does the same thing. Mac doesn't turn with the ball as much. He plays that one-time pass. And it's very great for both of them, like situational awareness, knowing where everybody is at, almost like having eyes behind their head and stuff like that.
And they complement each other so well. Like, they don't look like they've only played together like for 6 months together. They complement each other so well.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think we are all worried, right? Because we don't feel like there's a replacement for. It feels like either one. I agree with Ryan. Jones is probably the closest you have there, because with Endo, like, listening to Slot talk to Rio Ferdinand about what he wants from that position was everything that sadly Endo was not. Like, in terms of the running and the effort is there and the ball winning, but being able to carry the ball to the forwards and stuff like that, you're not going to get that as much. But I feel like, Endo, I thought, had like a great game today, and this is exactly what you need from him to come in, put in a physical performance, win balls, get people some rests. I mean, you can't ask for more, and it's like, from a squad player, there are going to be some guys that are just like basically designed for like specific roles on your team, and I think Endo was like one of those guys. Parting thoughts for the game. At the end of the job, it's job done. 3 points. It just did feel a little overall, but it felt like the stadium was like that. The atmosphere was like that. It was a game that didn't matter a lot, and everything looked like it, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we're sitting on top of the league, there's nothing really at stake.
Yeah.
Until they scored, and that's when the crowd got up. I think it's a game that obviously we didn't want to lose. And the fact that we were winning, and when they came back to, when I got a goal back, it was like, oh, okay, we need to score again. Like, that's when the atmosphere went up again. And just like the players, the crowd were the same. Like, we were only in second gear, and we win the third gear if we needed to. All you can ask for is a win and no injuries, I guess. And that's, I mean, hopefully Diaz isn't injured. Like that, the way he pulled up, I thought it was his hamstring, but he jogged off. So who knows? But yeah,
it looked like it, right? And I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't. But hey, there we go from the old country. Hey, what's going on? What is going on? See, you guys have fans from I don't bring fans over from Turkey. And here we go. There's another Turkish guy.
He spelled Turkey wrong. I'm doubting his credentials.
He did spell Turkey wrong. It's Turkey now, but what are you gonna do? I still say Turkey over and over again. To be honest, I mean that's how you kind of grow up, I guess, and you keep saying it. But I have gotten better. I do keep saying Turkey. I'll be honest, like the reason I don't say Turkey half the time is because people don't understand what the hell I'm saying, and I'm just too lazy to explain. So I just say Turkey because I know they're going to explain as well. Welcome to the show, sir. Give us a follow, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Good people back there, by the way. They were a huge help when we did the fundraiser for the earthquake a few years back. The supporters club in Turkey. A lot of them are like in Istanbul and stuff, but they're like throughout Turkey. Turkey. Damn it! See, I just did it again. But they were like a huge help. Like when we were putting that thing together. So shout out to those guys. Yeah, I mean, Curtis Jones gave us a scare for a second, right? Like it looked like he could be like hurt, but then he comes back. I don't know if he was meant to come off at halftime and it was more precautionary. I haven't seen the post-match statement yet, but yeah, at the end of the day, you get some rotation, you get your 3 points, hopefully no injuries, and the more important game is this weekend against Ipswich. You're the warrior. You're replacing me as the main warrior on the side, which is a rare treat, I have to say. So are you worried about the weekend?
I shouldn't be, but then, especially after Ipswich getting trounced by City, and then that's when you think, right, they're going to change something, and they're going to give their best performance against us because that's just typically what teams do. They just hold out the best performances against us, and the goalkeeper thinks it's prime Buffon. And but it's at home, it's it's an early kickoff, or I don't know what time the kickoff is, but
ask and you shall receive. Saturday, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, it's the 8 o'clock games. Well, for me, it's 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock for you. So it's not like a 6:30 game or something like that. So actually, a bunch of games starting at the same time, including Wolves, Arsenal. It could be a huge weekend, really. I don't have a lot of hope, but you never know. And then we have the Manchester City Chelsea game after that. But yeah, I shouldn't be worried either. But yeah, I mean, Spencer says we should beat them. It's at home, no excuses. I agree. I just worry as a lifestyle.
There's no excuses not to beat them, other than just
like we should buy the medication, like the blood pressure, in bulk and save it because people are using it. Maybe we can go to Costco or something and buy cases of them and then save that way. But yeah, I hope not. We'll talk a lot more about it throughout the week. I'll be back tonight, though, with the panel. We have a pretty full panel. I know Villa is on there, Brentford is on there, and Spurs are on there, and I think United is on there. The worst United team of all time is going to be hopefully represented if Jay can come on. So we'll see if they're on, but I'll definitely be on 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. So
I'll be on the comments.
Yeah. Sergi, thanks for hopping on, man. I appreciate it. Thanks to all those following. Give the like, subscribe, send it to a freaking friend, make them sign and subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys tonight. Take care.